clarification on that?
I guess, I mean, that can look so differently for different
I
people.
know, that's what I was thinking. And I'm sure, Ross, you have a vision. Can you give an example of what would positively look like to you?
Basically like positive reinforcement, being tactful, verbiage, basically. You know, how to read a situation and understand how to have a positive outcome, even though it's less than desirable to be dealing with.
My motto on that's pretty simple. When somebody asks me how are things going, what did they hear out of my mouth every time? It's awesome. It's going great. And we can have a storm going on that I know is there, but my job is, I'm not gonna communicate that to them. Everything's great. Hey,
Like I always say, I'm living the dream.
right?
That's
Living the
what I
dream.
always say.
Hey, that's good, right? I use that line a lot too. How's things going? Living the dream. And I just had to work, Karen in here chewing my butt. It's going great.
Might be a nightmare.
You're right. I'm living the dream. That's good. All right, positive, that's great. Okay, what else? Expectations.
I put, transparency and clear communication to the public as well as the board.
Okay, transparency with the public. And you got an example of one way you feel like that could be accomplished?
Well, I just mean like, just in general, especially at meetings, like explaining, kind of helping to explain just how things work and how things go on, instead of just being like, okay, we gotta vote on this, vote on that, you know.
Okay.
Kind of talking about stuff a little bit more to help.
So even just more background knowledge and just communication on the items in which we're bringing to you to vote on. Is it fair?
Yeah.
That would build greater transparency a little bit, at least a start.
I don't think-
Okay. All right, what else?
So along with that, previously, we've had weekly information about goings on within the district
Sure.
with the superintendent.
Friday notes,
And
yeah.
we had a brief conversation about this, and that's something that I guess I would want board input on, is that something that we would continue to want, or what does that look like, I guess?
What's the little consensus of the board? I think that's what you're asking. How's the
Yes.
board feeling about that? In the past we've had, did you call them something? Friday notes is what I always call them.
It was like a
Weekly report. We've had weekly report. She feels passionate that we want to keep going. Is that fair? We need that communication.
I didn't mind the information, I
Okay.
guess.
It's just nice to have. You guys all feel that way? Is that an
I
expectation?
like the information at the
Okay.
end of the week,
Is that fair?
kinda how the week went.
I'm guessing a little the hesitation by looking at a couple of you is the understanding that,
Well, I liked it. The thing about it, to me, a lot of it was very repetitive. It was kind of like the same, oh, we're still working on this, we're still working on this.
A lot of acronyms.
Yeah, it's just like, I was like, okay, you know.
watch the acronyms.
I did a lot. It was really good when I was a brand new board member to kind of get like
Yeah.
what the superintendent was up to from the day to day and stuff.
Yeah.
But then after time, it kind of just became, to me, kind of repetitive. I mean, there's new stuff.
Yeah,
in there.
I like some highlights, I guess. I mean, some of it's.
Yeah, I like the highlights of the week, but I don't have to know the whole week.
Yeah.
Every,
You know, it's interesting how,
So you don't want every little tiny thing, but you want like the big, like the aha moments. Is that a fair statement?
good or bad, but yeah, I guess. I mean, as
here's
needed.
what I would encourage you to do too, is almost make them come to you, Deetra, and say, okay, Deetra, we don't need that much. Alright, or-
So he's saying overdo it for starters.
I just think you can't go wrong there, right? We didn't really need
No, I
to
mean, I
know
think
as a
I don't care if
kid.
no Johnny Gotten
Right, yeah.
sent to your office or.
I just examples, I think. Are good. You know, I heard this when I first took the job in Goodland in my first year. This was an issue, and there was really a little bit of distrust when just listening to people about. And this is not to knock anybody. My predecessor, have all the respect in the world for her. I thought she did great, and I don't know when I say this distrust part was her problem, but there's a little bit of distrust. A theme of, what does she do all day? Well, I made it my goal to outline my whole day, 5 days a week, and I was telling them everything. I went to this meeting, I did this, I met with this staff, everything I did that day. And I did that for 2 years, alright? Every meeting, every conversation, everything, right? And that was a lot of work to do that, and I think finally the board realized, this guy's spending like an hour every night summarizing his day, why are we having him do that?
Yeah, that's kinda how I was like.
Right.
I don't want you
I
to
know
do
it's a lot.
that.
So, yeah.
No.
And I appreciate you saying that, because it was, and I remember the board meeting in which they finally told me, it happened on my evaluation, Billy, we don't need you to do that anymore, okay?
Took
Which,
us 2 years to get there, but they finally.
it took us 2 years to get there, but I was like, I think they thought like I loved it, right? No, I don't really love it, this is work for me, but, that, you know, it's almost like you drive them to a point where they say, okay, we're good on that, so. But communication is important, right? You heard
Well, I
that.
guess where he
As
was
a
saying,
baseline
like,
expectation.
having the information for a board, like when the boiler goes out, maybe in your weekly notes, hey, the boiler went out, it's something we probably need to get figured out.
Yeah, sure.
You know, you need to start.
It's kind of like the aha moments then, like the big,
Yes, need
the
to.
big
That are probably gonna
things.
be coming up at a meeting
We're gonna be
too.
dealing with.
Right.
I think something good that's always included those types of things is a kind of put a forthcoming of things coming to potential board meetings in the future lens on it. And that's a good guide. This happened and we may have to address this issue.
Because if
Next.
I only give you the bad, you're never gonna wanna open them, because there's no positives to have with it, and you're gonna be like,
I'm guessing
this
knowing you, you're
person's
gonna
sending
put,
me another thing.
you're gonna put some positives in there. I know that's gonna happen. All right, what other expectations of her? Anybody wanna share something that you really feel like you wanna put out there as an expectation of the superintendent?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay. Hey, our ship's not doing too bad. We got some issues,
I'm not
but,
saying things aren't broke, I'm just saying.
yeah. How's the,
What if you can make it better?
Right,
well, and maybe that comes, but maybe it just doesn't come right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would always advise a new suit to, hey, unless it's glaring, I don't think you try to touch it. You'll learn over time what changes need to be made. Has visibility been an issue, not an issue? We really need you to be more visible than what we've, that's one that comes up sometimes, or we're feeling okay about that? Okay,
We haven't really had a
we
lot
don't
yet to
necessarily
be
know yet,
visible.
yeah, we don't know yet on her.
okay, yeah. All right, and then how about you? What are your expectations 6 weeks into the job for the board? Get
Honest-
ready, board, here it comes.
Honesty, I think, and transparency are always important. Clear expectations of me. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong unless you are open and honest with me. And then a vision or a direction of where you want me to guide the district.
Do we have a strategic plan here in Wallace County?
There's only one for KISA, but not really one with,
Not from a board level? do you-
correct.
We did.
I
we
want
kinda
you
worked on
to
it.
bring your, I have it by email,
I'm gonna have it right here.
I wanna go over that at the next board meeting, something he wrote up for us.
So you kinda went the road of a strategic plan?
Well, we did like a board evaluation, kinda like made
And he
kind of like
consolidated this thing.
kind of into a vision.
When was that?
I need to.
It was in,
It's been a while ago.
wasn't it in May?
Now, I heard you raise your hand that you said, you think we have a strategic plan.
He
This-
was working
this-
on it, it was
okay,
in
this
May.
part. So we have something kinda in the works, it sounds like, that could
Yeah,
potentially,
we worked on it a couple times and then we kind of never really finalized it. We had some
I
other
wouldn't
stuff.
need to bring
going
that
on.
up, I would wanna have a
Okay.
discussion over what he did. I don't
Yeah.
know when that was. It's
It was
been
in
a while.
April and May.
I could find it in email.
well, it's great that she brings it up as kind of, hey, I'm wanting that, you guys kinda have it, and now we can maybe push that forward, move that forward a little bit. Teacher, what else would be expectations?
Those were my three big ones. If we don't have the strategic plan, we don't really know where we're going.
Yeah.
And so then I don't really have a clear vision of where the board needs me to help or assist to guide. And then just knowing that, I'm not fragile, I don't break. I have very broad
Big
shoulders,
shoulders.
but I don't know, you don't know if you're doing something wrong unless you're told you're doing something wrong, or, vice versa.
Okay, very good, very good. So these are just some things to think about, right? As you move forward as a board, right? We're not gonna do these tonight. These are bigger things, right? Somewhere along the line, some of the communication certainly has the potential to lead itself into some goals written on a piece of paper that we say are priorities for us, right? Actionable goals, right? And I know Deetra a little bit. I think she operates well in that leadership capacity, whether it be KISA or whatever it is. I don't think it changes from a superintendent's lens. Review and develop a strategic plan. We don't really have a formalized strategic plan that we've adopted. The board's come out and said, here's our 5-year strategic plan that outlines the next 5 years and our big priorities, what we want to get done in the district. You have some information. Sounds like we're going to bring that to the next board meeting and potentially work on that, okay? Line superintendent evaluation, right? So you're not going to get this done in this time frame, but at some point in time, these things should all start to feed in each other, right? Here's the goals we've set forth, right? In a strategic plan, her evaluation should somewhat be tied to those, right? We've said these are our goals, how you doing on these goals, right? And make it about those types of things. And this is always something you guys can think about. How are we doing as a board along these lines as well in our management of those things, okay? So you're cleared for takeoff on those. My shameless plug is always KSB can help you with all of those. If you want our support in any of those, you can also do some of those things yourself, okay? All right. Any questions for me? So really I started off by saying this isn't rocket science, what we're doing. But and I commend you for doing it, taking the time to set down your day-to-day lives and busyness of all the other things. Sometimes this just sitting down and having a dialogue about what you guys expect, she expects, and these characteristics of all these things we talked about tonight. If we don't take the time to do it, then we don't do it. Suddenly we're a year down the road and we never really talked about it, right? So just taking the time to do it is important. I commend you for that, okay? I'll take your sheets. I'll kind of give you an idea of what you'll be getting from me.
You said you needed to write it legibly.
We did.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
He's been a teacher before, he can decide.
I just did one for Nest City, so I'll be sending out something along the lines of this back to Deetra and she can share it with you. I'll try to be honest with you, I use AI. I don't hold any punches back, and that's why this works out really well, right? And we can frame it into a document, call an executive summary that highlights the common themes, right? AI is really good about taking all this information and sifting through it instead of me having to do it so much, and does a better job of, here were some common themes, all right? And so we'll get you some information to kind of work on along those lines, okay? Anything else? If you ever need me for anything, you guys know where I'm at, so have a great evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
You bet.